Well, it's deeply unsettling.
It really is.
We're talking about a discovery beneath a house, an ordinary suburban house, that just kept getting worse.
Exactly. Not some ancient tomb, but Willow Lane.
Picture it. Willow Lane. Small white house, quiet street. Looks like anywhere, really. It all starts with what seems like a totally routine welfare check.
Yeah, standard procedure. An elderly woman lived there, hadn't been seen, mail piling up, you know the signs.
But the police walked in expecting one thing and found, well, something else entirely.
Far more. Not just the missing woman, but bodies, multiple bodies, hidden right under the floorboards.
It's chilling. So our mission today, unpack the evidence, look at the suspect they zeroed in on, and then tackle this huge twist.
The one that turns it from a single horrifying crime into this generational mystery.
Exactly. Let's get into it. History hidden in plain sight. Okay, so part one.
Yeah.
The initial discovery. What kicked it off?
A concerned neighbor, basically. The woman who lived there, elderly lady, hadn't been seen for weeks.
And the classic signs were there. Overgrown yard, mail stuffed in the box.
Yeah, all that. Signal something's wrong. So police get dispatched.
And when they get there, the reports mention something specific. The front door was locked, no forced entry.
Right. Which initially suggests maybe she left willingly, or maybe fell ill inside quietly. Doesn't immediately scream foul play.
So it seems like a standard missing person case, maybe a medical issue. Low danger, you'd think?
You would. But then comes the moment things shift. An officer's doing a walk around the property, checking the perimeter, standard stuff.
Looking in windows, checking the back.
Exactly. And he gets near the foundation, near a crawl space vent, and he smells it.
Oh, the smell.
Yes. The report calls it a faint, sour odor. But anyone in law enforcement knows that specific smell. Decomposition.
Ugh. So that instantly changes everything, from welfare check to potential crime scene.
Instantly. Your heart sinks. You know this isn't just someone who wandered off.
I can't even imagine. You're looking for an elderly woman, maybe needing help, and suddenly that smell hits you.
It's a pivot point. So they get a flashlight, peer into that crawl space. Dark, dusty.
And what do they see?
Torn fabric first, like old blankets, maybe wrapping something, and then beneath it, the report says, unmistakable outline of a human form.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Crime scene unit called immediately, tape goes up, perimeter secured. But that was just the very beginning.
Just the beginning. Because finding one body is horrific enough, but this escalated quickly, didn't it?
Very quickly. That first body was just the tip of the iceberg, really. It was relatively shallow near the access point, easy to stumble upon once they were looking.
So how did they realize there were more? Did they bring in tech, like ground-penetrating radar?
Eventually, yes. But initially, it was simpler, more grim. The forensic team started examining the soil under the house, under that raised foundation. They saw the ground had been disturbed, not just where the first body was, but in multiple places. Pockets of turned earth, soil that didn't match the original fill around the foundation piers.
This was signs of digging, multiple times.
Multiple times, across a wide area. It wasn't just one grave. It became sickeningly clear this was a potential burial ground right under the house.
And the final count.
Yeah.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
7. Over 2 days of careful excavation, they unearthed 7 bodies.
7 people. Under one small white house on a quiet street. It's almost unbelievable. For how long had this been going on?
That's the other shocking part. The forensic analysis suggested the deaths stretched back nearly a decade. This house had been a silent graveyard for years.
Were the burials similar? Or did they vary? What did they find out about the victims?
A real mix, which is also disturbing. The sources mention some were carefully wrapped. Blankets, maybe plastic sheeting, suggests planning and attempt to conceal.
And the others?
Others seemed much more hasty, basically put into shallow pits, barely covered, right under the foundation, almost desperate.
And the victims themselves. Any pattern there?
No clear pattern, which is another chilling aspect. They varied widely in age and gender. This wasn't someone targeting, say, only young women or only older men. It was scattered.
Which makes it harder to profile, I imagine. How did they figure out the timeline? A decade is a long time.
Forensics, it's painstaking work. They looked at decomposition rates, which vary based on burial conditions.
Right, soil conditions, wrapping.
Exactly. The type of wrapping material, how it degraded, how it interacted with the soil. They could cluster the deaths. Some were clearly much older burials than others.
So they knew pretty early on this wasn't all recent. It's stretched back.
Well, almost 10 years back, before the current owner even, which, brings us to him.
Walter Kane, homeowner. The guy living literally on top of all this.
Walter Kane. And the picture painted by neighbors initially? Completely ordinary.
Yeah, the sources say he was a handyman, quiet guy, polite, maybe a little distant, fixed roofs, fences, the sort of person you wouldn't look twice at.
Blended right in. Which is terrifying in retrospect, isn't it?
Absolutely. But detectives started digging into his past, and that ordinary facade, it cracked pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. It didn't take long. Kane had a record. Prior arrests for assault.
Not just general assault, though. Weren't there specifics?
Domestic disturbances, yeah. Reports from ex-partners. And there was also a history of mental health struggles, some hospitalizations noted in the files.
And then there were the rumors.
The rumors were crucial. Whispers linking him to women he'd dated who had just disappeared. Vanished without a trace. Suddenly, those rumors looked a lot more concrete.
It suggests a pattern, doesn't it? Targeted violence against people he knew.
It does. Intimate partner violence escalating, potentially.
But here's a frustrating point from the sources.
Yeah.
Despite all these red flags, the arrests, the rumors, nothing ever stuck legally, did it?
No. And that's maybe the most tragic part before the bodies were found. The reports state none of it ever stuck in court.
Why not? Lack of evidence. Victims unwilling to testify.
Could be any of those. Cases fall apart sometimes. But the point is, the system had opportunities to intervene based on his known behavior, and it failed.
And that failure allowed him to continue, presumably, until the sheer number of bodies under his own house made it impossible to ignore.
Undeniable. The scale of it was just overwhelming.
So the investigation focuses on Kane. Quiet handyman, hidden violent past, potential victims among missing ex-girlfriends. Seems like a clear, if horrifying, picture.
It does. It lines up. Motive, opportunity, a history suggesting capacity for violence.
But
Oh.
then the science throws a massive wrench in the works. Forensics comes back with something unexpected.
Completely unexpected. This is the twist that changes the entire investigation. They've been carefully dating all 7 sets of remains, remember?
Right, the decade-long timeline.
And the analysis showed conclusively that at least 2 of those 7 victims, they died before Walter Kane even bought the house. Years before.
Wait, before he owned the property?
Significantly before.
Okay, wow, that completely blows up the single killer theory.
Completely. Instantly, it's not just about Walter Kane anymore. It becomes this generational mystery, as the files call it.
So the house itself, it was used as a burial site by someone else before Kane ever lived there.
That's what the evidence strongly suggests. 2 separate periods of activity. Maybe 2 separate killers using the exact same incredibly specific burial location.
That's almost unheard of, isn't it? The implications are staggering.
They really are. For the investigation, it's a nightmare. Are the methods different for the older bodies versus the newer ones? Were the early victims wrapped, or were they the ones in shallow pits?
Different killers might have different methods, different motives.
Exactly. And legally. You're now investigating Kane for the murders during his time there, and you have to open cold cases for these earlier victims, trying to figure out who that killer was.
Who lived there before Kane? Who had access?
All those questions suddenly become critical. The resources needed to track 2 potential unconnected killers using the same spot. It's immense.
So this puts a fundamental question out there for you, the listener. Did Kane buy this house, maybe doing repairs, and stumble upon these older bodies?
It's possible. He was a handyman, remember, maybe working under the house.
And if he found them, did he just decide it was a convenient, pre-established spot for his own terrible acts? Continue the cycle?
That's one chilling possibility. He inherits this dark secret and exploits it.
Or the alternative, did he somehow know? Did he buy the house because it already held these secrets left by someone else?
Equally chilling. Either he's continuing a pattern or he's inheriting one. Either way, the house itself becomes this nexus of horror.
Understandably, when this detail came out, the pre-Kane victims, the public reaction must have been intense.
Oh, massive. The case was already huge, but this added a whole new layer of dread. You saw those headlines everywhere. House of the dead, bodies beneath the floorboards.
That phrase, bodies beneath the floorboards, it just sticks with you. So mundane and yet so horrific.
It captures the violation of it, the horror hidden in the everyday.
And it wasn't just shock, right? The sources mention real fear spreading through the neighborhood.
Absolutely. If this happened on Willow Lane, undetected for so long, with potentially 2 killers, could it be happening elsewhere? People started checking their own crawl spaces, their foundations.
The idea that your neighbor or the person who lived in your house before you could have hidden something so terrible right under your feet.
It shatters that sense of suburban safety. That fear was palpable.
So where does the case stand now, according to the material? Kane is still the focus for some of the deaths.
Yes. Walter Kane remains the prime suspect for several of the murders, specifically the ones whose estimated time of death falls within his ownership period. The methods might even align with his known history.
But not all of them.
Not all of them. That's the crucial gap. At least 3 victims remain officially unconnected to him. That includes the 2 confirmed pre-ownership bodies and potentially 1 more from the group.
3 people whose stories are still completely unresolved.
Exactly. Their killer or killers might still be out there, or maybe it was Kane and they just haven't found the link yet. It's a huge question mark.
And the house itself. What happened to the physical building on Willow Lane?
It was demolished, torn down, the community wanted it gone, which is understandable. Erase the physical reminder.
But tearing down the house doesn't erase the history, does it?
No. The sources say the ground beneath it, that plot of land, still holds secrets. The investigation is technically ongoing, but it's essentially 2 very cold cases now, intertwined in the same soil.
So let's just quickly recap. 7 bodies found under one ordinary house, buried over a period stretching back almost a decade,
A timeline that points to potentially more than one killer using the same hidden space.
leaving at least 3 victims completely unconnected to the main suspect, Walter Kane.
Which leaves us with this lingering, deeply troubling question. Was Kane just a monstrous opportunist who found a convenient spot? Or did he somehow inherit this nightmare, this burial ground, created by someone even darker who came before?
The full truth just feels out of reach,
Hmm.
hidden like the bodies themselves.
It really does.
And maybe the final thought for you to consider is about how secrets fester, how the silence around those first hidden crimes, might have actually enabled the later ones. History repeating itself quite literally under the floorboards because the first layer was never uncovered.
It's a chilling reminder. Sometimes the most terrifying places aren't desolate woods or abandoned asylums. They're right under our feet, in the most ordinary settings.